Hello, I'm Chris Williams from Read Comics, They're Bad For You. And remember, I also have a BitChute channel called Comic Freak. Today we're going to be talking how Natalie Portman became the new female Thor. Kevin Feige, in hopes of chasing more woke points, has appointed Natalie Portman to play the new... Well, if you've been reading the comics, you know what happens to Thor, how he doesn't become worthy of the hammer anymore, and how instead they make a new female Thor, particularly his old girlfriend, Jane Foster, who, for some odd reason, gets cancer and then decides to use the hammer to become the new Thor, in hopes of, doing something good for the world before she dies. Now, the funny thing about this is every time she became Thor, when she used the hammer, it would wipe all the chemotherapy from her body, so every time she would transform back into Jane Foster, the cancer would become worse. And she was forced to transform continuously. Now, you would think this would be a good idea, but no, it's not a good idea. It was in the comic books, they just wanted to push woke points. For another thing, or added flavor of, dramatic prose, they said that she had to decide if she wanted to return eventually to Jane Foster and die of cancer, or remain Thor forever. Now, if you're smart, you'd think that she'd remain Thor forever, but she's worried that she'd lose herself. And this story has been done before, particularly if you look at this panel here. This is from, a What If issue where Jane Foster had become Thor. So Jane Foster has, in some respects, done this before, but it has never been anything like part of the real main 616 continuity of the Marvel Comics universe. And when they did make it canon, where Jane Foster became Thor, they added all this stuff like cancer, and her deciding if she wanted to remain Thor or not, and her constantly, looking like it's just woke points. Yeah, woke points. This is all that comic book was, woke points. The proof the creators were more nice and progressive than anyone else. The same thing could be said here for Natalie Portman here. Look, she doesn't even look comfortable holding the hammer. And that thing is probably made of plywood and plastic, considering how easy she's lifting it up. I mean, she doesn't look happy like this. Is she trying to look dramatic? Why is she cringing her teeth like that? I mean, I expect that Kevin Feige filled her in that he picked her to be the new Thor. But she looks like she's surprised, or she's trying to act surprised. If that's acting, that's not acting. You look more horrified or cringe than anything else. Now, the title of Thor 4 is going to be Thor, Love and Thunder. I guess you need a woman. You have to have love in the title somewhere. That's at least how the joke used to go. And it's not a good one. And I hate it. Now, they could have just said something like Lady Thor, but Love and Thunder. They really want to push this cuckery on us, don't they? It is not good. In other news regarding Thor and Thor's part of the universe, Valkyrie is going to be confirmed to be a lesbian. Now, on top of the fact in Endgame, Thor elected her to become king of Asgard, she's now going out to look for her queen. Yes, her queen. Remember those words, because it just gets worse and worse every time we hear anything from MCU. The MCU will die. Here we can see the director of Thor, Ragnarok, as well as Chris Hemsworth and Natalie Portman. And now, her acting here is bad. Is she supposed to be surprised? She looks like she's going to be hung by the fans. Chris Hemsworth looks more calm, but I saw the footage and he looked sort of uncomfortable, or rather his mouth grimaced as well. I mean, they don't look happy about this. And of course, the director looks like a cuck. And he's so brainwashed he doesn't know, he's not aware of anything that could honestly happen to him. I mean, the director has no self-awareness. If he actually elected to direct this film, is it just because he wants to make himself look better and score more cred with the SJWs? In my opinion, yes. But he may be too stupid to realize that this is a bad thing, because they're not going to go see your movie. Or rather, there's not enough people to see your movie. You're just going to alienate everybody, buddy. Now, I can tell you how Lady Thor will look like. It'll look this horrible, this horrifying, this muscled-out woman with no beauty to her. Now, other people will say this is a very beautiful woman. No, look at those muscles. I mean, this is just a picture of Jane Foster as Thor, but it's horrible. They didn't draw her like that in the comic book, but this is what I fear about. It's just going to be the worst aspects of men, with a woman trying to act like that. That's what they think. That's not how you do this. No one wants to see a woman like this. This is just bad. This is just something I do not want to see. I want a woman, and I don't want Thor to be a woman. Now, it is just sad that the MCU, actually it is not sad, the MCU is over. It ended with Endgame. And all these other movies are just bad. They're going to fail, and the MCU will die. And then Disney will go out of business. And that'll be a good thing, because we need change. We need something better. I mean, Disney already destroyed Fox, and that's a bad thing. I mean, if you look at the actors, as I said earlier, Chris Hemsworth and Natalie Portman don't look all comfortable continuing in their roles in the MCU, but they have nowhere else to go. Natalie Portman's roles have basically continuously bombed in the movies that she's had in over the last few years that have not been MCU movies. And Chris Hemsworth is only really noteworthy for being Thor. He might have done other things, but I'm not quite sure what that is. As I said, Disney needs to die. We need new studios and new projects, as well as new comic books and new games to replace all the stuff that's being taken over by Hollywood, as well as the CEOs of mega corporations who want to control everything. We need new stuff so that they can't own everything. I mean, look at here. Natalie Portman just doesn't look comfortable. Oh God, I'm going to keep playing this role and now I'm Lady Thor? I don't know how to be a superhero. I'm an actress. Why am I here? Most of my movies have bombed. And I have to agree with her on this. Because how do I know to agree with this on this? Look at her eyes. Look at her mouth. She does not look comfortable being Lady Thor. And we need something that Marvel or the MCU is not providing. We need better MCU movies. Or, as I said, it needs to die. Because if they keep pushing these soulless products, it's going to die anyway. Here we have a picture of what Jane Foster looks like in the actual comic book. She doesn't look that muscular. She doesn't look anything like a complete monster. Because they knew it wouldn't really sell all that much. And it didn't sell. But at least they made her look feminine. At least this looks feminine. Jane Foster should have remained, or at least an erstwhile companion of Thor. Because there's also Lady Sif, who's actually more or less the main woman Thor loves. But instead, they had to push all this SJW nonsense on us, and it ruined Marvel Comics. And the MCU will follow soon shortly. Hopefully, this will prove to them that Disney doesn't know everything and that they can fail. They need to go away. Now, if you like this video, subscribe. Make sure you're still subscribed. If you're watching my videos but you have not subscribed, please subscribe to me on YouTube at Read Comics, They're Bad For You. And I also want you to go over to BitChute and subscribe to my BitChute channel, Comic Freak. You'll get all my videos that I've loaded here recently on YouTube on BitChute. Hit that bell for notifications, hit that like button, and leave some comments down below. And remember, keep checking back in future videos for more information on my own upcoming independent comic book, Scumdogs. Remember, it'll be far better than most of what Marvel Comics is doing. because you'll get that science fiction fantasy escapism we all really want. All right, I'm Chris Williams, and I'll be back again tomorrow with another video or review. Bye.